I'm with my favorite parents in the whole world. I've only got two of them, and that I know of. And so I'd like to introduce to you my dad, Pete, and my mom. What the hell is your name? What was your name? Peg. Pete, PJ, Pete Jr., Pete, and Peg. You see there's a little bit of a thing here.
Pistol.
Here.
Don't forget your sister. Pistol.
My pistol sister. Shit.
Now you can see why we only had the one boy. That explains a lot. Thank you, son. Daddy can't miss you if you don't mention it time for his bed.
Oh, it's a long time. Way overdue. Go on now.
I still have a soft spot on my head, Mom. You love that, huh? Mom, sometimes when I don't clean up the poop in the yard, she'll take her thumb on my soft spot, and I just start to go, and she won't stop.
All you gotta do is shake it up. Get him up down, there he goes. Whoops, somebody made a dookie. Well. PJ?
I'm over here, Dad, cleaning up poop again.
I don't remember this storyline in Goofing.
See what you
It
start?
feels familiar, but I thought.
It gets very dark very
Stop laughing. And we're watching it.
Yes.
That's
Straight out of the toilet.
I've heard a lot
12
worse.
seconds.
Oh, yeah.
Right into
Pam
the toilet.
Adlon. Remember some of the stuff that Pam Adlon would say.
Oh.
Yes.
Pam Adline, whom you guys know from Better Things now on FX.
And also Bobby on King of the Hill.
Yes, Bobby on King of the Hill is.
Oh.
We love her, and she
So funny.
and Cree
Best body mouth in the
Summer.
business.
They have the most foul
Oh my God.
mouths in
The
the world.
stuff that came out. And they would say, look, we got Disney,
Oh yes,
important people coming in. Don't, watch yourself.
Charlie Adler.
She
Yeah.
couldn't, it was
These
great.
people, I mean, you get Paul, you would eat this stuff up. Talk about smart, funny torture. You see these people like Charlie and Pammy and
So
Cree
funny.
Summer and all these Disney folks come in. They've got their little Disney character pin. I mean, Disney. What are the cast member pins
Oh,
and
yes,
stuff?
yes.
And then Charlie starts throwing out F-bombs.
Oh my God.
Pam the same way. If you have to do that, I'm gonna make you blah blah.
Oh my God. Remember that she had a really filthy word in rhinestones on her sweater. Do you remember
Yeah.
that? And they were like, don't say anything dirty because Disney's going to be here. And she was
It's
like,
on
all
her
right.
shirt.
She took her gloves off and it was like in rhinestones across her chest. We're like, oh my God. This is great. That's great.
There's something.
But you know what else? Do you remember like having to come up with pejoratives that the standard and practices would allow?
Yes.
Like we would I remember during 101 Dalmatians, it'd be like, you moron! You can't say moron.
Can't say moron.
You cretin! You can't say cretin. Can you say crouton? You're like, what the, really?
Yeah. Moron.
Moron, idiot, like they would just, can you come up with something else? Can you come up with
Yeah.
Yeah, I tried to get turd socket by, and it didn't go. Didn't fly.
Good one,
We got
though.
Hard to believe, right? I know. It's a common. Everybody uses that term.
Turd
Maybe-
socket.
maybe not.
I remember that.
Yeah.
Was that it?
Yeah. Probably.
I totally.
Ba 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 ba.
Yeah, and I remember we did a thing in Animaniacs, in fact, where Yakko is playing Hercule Poirot, and he's saying, "Have you? We need to take fingerprints, and they cut to a shot of Dot Warner holding Prince, the musician, and she said, and I say, no, fingerprints, and she goes, I don't think so. Throws him out the window.
See, get it?
And we
Okay.
never in a million years thought that would get by S&P, but it did. Fingerprints.
Wow.
Yes.
Well, coming back to the triangle bush, did you see that on
What's that?
on the triangle bush?
No.
You saw this, didn't you?
What?
Joel
Oh,
McHale.
but I like it.
On Joel McHale when he had like a Talk Soup kind of a show. You were on it. You should find the clip.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it was, Clarabelle's like, well, you look for the magic bush, and when you push the button in the bush, fireworks go off. We're like, and you were too. You were like, I'm not going to look for that bush today. I'm tired. It was insane.
That's the happiest place on
Yeah, it was
earth.
insane. They sneak so much of that stuff in there. So much. I did an episode of Mickey Mouse Funhouse last week called The Curse of the Krusty Clam. And I said, really? Do you guys really?
bounces there.
Yeah, yes, that's right.
But I think they know, don't they?
I would hope so.
And then they'll beat you up on the word cretin, so it's very hard to know what the.
I mean, you know, some of that stuff is written like that. You
Gotta be.
alluded to it,
It's gotta
and
be.
it has to be. I mean, I'm an '80s cartoon kid, and you can go back and watch those classic episodes of some of that '80s cartoons,
Yeah.
and like watching Masters of the Universe, and I'll sit there and be.
Well, all
I did.
cartoons have been that like forever, right?
What's that?
Like all cartoons have been like that.
Oh, like, yeah.
you watch
Well, if you
Tex
watch-
Avery and all that, and there's definitely a through line for adults and something for kids.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And of course now, there's also Rick and Morty, almost every episode, finds a line and then crosses it on purpose. And in fact, the first episode I did of Rick and Morty, my first lines were, "Where are my testicles, Summer?" Oh yeah, it was a dog who had been fixed, and he thought, this just isn't gonna do. So, where are my testicles?
Where were they?
Where they were apparently at the vets.
Yeah.
At the vet. Oh,
Yeah,
They
being
were-
disposed of.
really small paperweights.
Yes, it was a
They were
rhetorical
bronze.
question.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Rhetorical canine. But the point is that, yeah, I mean, but also, remember, like we're talking about, it is adults, ostensible adults, who write this stuff, and they want it to be a little bit.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes that there are, tell me if you agree with this, there are times when the writers will write stuff and they will give a couple of examples of things that they know aren't going to make it, but there's something just a little bit under the surface
Yeah.
that will allow, that one will make it through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They write 3 to get 1 in.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Sure.
so but the whole bottom line is, it's a great freaking way to pay for shit. It's just a lovely way to make a living. And you work with people whom you would choose to have in your life. It's the greatest thing in the world.
Well, I mean, you guys have attributed that. You guys are friends.
Oh,
you guys are not co-workers. You guys care about each other. You can see it. You love being around each other. And I know that, I'm sure you guys feel the same way. We see that. But that portrays, and I know it does in the work, but it also does right here when we're having a casual chat about your guys' careers and stuff like that. So we're kind of getting wrapped here, but I want to ask you, do you really think that that this Goof Troop thing, I think this is something that, to move forward, you guys could really, really take this somewhere. And I mean,
Hey, from your lips to God's checkbook.
if Sir Mouse is listening,
I love that show, and I
we-
love the Disney
I thought it was-
afternoon.
well,
and I
yeah.
loved One Saturday Morning too.
Well,
that was
yes.
great. Yeah.
And in fact, I learned a very valuable lesson a few years ago when they did the 20th anniversary of the Goofy movie. I got a call from Disney saying, hey, we're doing this thing down at D23. Come on down, we're going to celebrate it. Everybody was there. It was great. I was really naive. I said, oh, that was a sweet little movie. That sweet little movie is a big freaking deal.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And I had no idea how precious that movie is to so many people.
That's true.
And it
But
was.
you often don't, it doesn't clock it all the way, because sometimes, I was talking to Paul about this on the way down here. You're in a booth, sometimes by yourself,
Yes.
talking into the void, making silly noises into the void, talking like a cow into the void or whatever it is. And you kind of go home and you forget, and that's it. And you don't realize that you're creating something that's really going to touch people until you come someplace like here, or Make-A-Wish brings kids to a session, and you realize how important that I used to think I'm not really doing anything important. And then you meet these kids and these people I meet people so often who are like, oh my God, my childhood, you made my childhood so much better. And
the most-
Oh, yeah.
my mom was sick or whatever. And you get that all the time when you're at cons, all the time.
Yeah, we all have stories that will just put you on your knees.
Oh,
Yeah.
Latchkey kids who come home and they'll say, this one kid, I won't bring everybody down with this, but it was a pair of twins, and the boy and the girl, and she was sick, she had to stay home, and the kid came out, God bless him, and he said, I think you pretty much saved my life.
Yeah.
And I said, well, okay, thank you. He says, well, no, I mean, we would, in the morning, before we were on our way to school, my dad left us. We don't know where he went.
I believe
And I
it.
go, oh God, here we go. God bless this kid. And he says, so we'd watch the New Adventures of Winnie Pooh in the morning. Then my mom would set the VCR, good old videotape recorder, and it would record from 2 to 4, which I think was maybe the Disney afternoon time.
Yeah.